Cal Kellogg here. Lucy the Labrador is in the back, and we are up in the Tahoe National Forest today at French Meadows Reservoir. We are right up near the summit. This is my home trout lake. This is one of my favorite trout lakes, and I haven't been here in 2 years due to an extended road closure. The road is now open. I was going to come up here last week, but there was a lot of wind. Today, we have perfect conditions. It is July the 2nd. The surface temperature is 68 degrees. I've talked to a couple people who have been out here. The fish has been really good. So let's head out to deep water here. I think I'm going to have to drop down in the water column a little bit. I think I'm going to start out at about 15 to 20 feet deep. And we'll start making the rounds, looking at the sonar, see if we can find some fish and see if we can catch some fish. There are some very nice rainbows in this lake. That's the primary catch. And there are some ginormous brown trout in this lake that are seldom caught, but they're here. And when you get one on, you got a big old horse. I catch small browns, but there's browns, you know, up to and beyond 10 pounds out here. So let's get started. Let's get on the pedals here. Let's get out into deep water, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to pull. Well, that didn't take long, less than a minute. I was pedaling, and I'm out over 45 feet of water. The lake is darn near completely full, so there's a lot of water to explore. Number one rod, this is going down on the downrigger, a natural colored trigger minnow. I'm going to give those big browns hopefully something that looks like a little rainbow, looks like a little bait fish, and maybe we could fool one of those guys into striking here first thing in the morning. Now, rod number two, one of my iconic yellow lead core sticks, and I'm pulling one of the more underutilized spoons in our spoon lineup. I am pulling a bright red pinhead spoon. I've got a 1 ounce weight, or a half ounce weight, excuse me, rigged on this lead core outfit, so I can get down to about 15 feet, probably just having two colors out because I don't want to have a whole bunch of lines strung out behind me. I've been experimenting a lot with weights teamed with lead core, and I'll tell you what, it's working real well. We'll talk more about that later. We'll also talk more about this downrigger rod later. I have got this spooled up with a very unique system. Anyhow, let's get these lines in the water and let's get some fish on. Fish on, right there. Awesome. Oh, did he get off? Ah, fish off. I thought I had him. That's okay, that's the second hit. Oh, fish hit it on the way in. Fish hit it on the way in, guys. Right there. That's awesome. Nice rainbow, too. Get my net. Oh my. That fish smacked that on the way in. That's a big rainbow. Hot diggity. That's a big rainbow for this lake. Oh my gosh, I thought I could go down in the downriver, and that guy probably followed it up from down, you know, in the depths as it was rising, and he smacked it right there. That was fantastic. That was too cool for school. That was really, really cool. Chunkosaurus right there. Looks like a fat little planter. That's a nice fish. He's husky, he's hefty. My target speed this morning is 2 miles an hour, but I'm going to vary my speed from 1.5 all the way up to 2.5, and that's one of the reasons I selected these two lures. The pinhead spoon can run across a really broad range of speeds. It starts kicking at about 1.5. You can take it all the way up to 3+, you know, speedy shiner speed, and it works just fine. It's one of the reasons I really love that spoon. It's compact, but you control it really fast, and that's a unique quality in a trout spoon. The Trout Trix minnow, I think I called it a trigger minnow a little while ago, but the Trout Trix minnow, you know, it works well at 1.8 to 2 miles an hour, but you can definitely push the speed up to 2.5, 2.7 at times. Sean, right there. Awesome. That feels like a hefty fish. 20 minutes on the water, 2 hookups, 4 bites. Can't complain about that. That's for dang sure. Awesomeness. Trout Trix minnow, guys. It's a killer. It is a killer. Okay, so many trout on soft plastics. More guys should be pulling them, but they're not. Well, my guys here on the channel are, and they're catching a lot of fish on them just like I do. Let's see here. That was about a total of 70 feet behind the kayak. Haven't seen him yet, but he's getting close. About 25, 30 feet away, I imagine. Another husky fish. Another chunkaroo. Looks like another planet trout. Whoa. He was feisty. Oh, that's a heavy one right there. I'll show you this guy real quick. Oh yeah, he's a planter, but he's a beaut. Off the top of the fish finder and into the water. Oh my. Oh, fish on the lead core, fish on the pinhead. I dropped that down a little deeper and bam, got a fish right away. He's feisty. He's a feisty fighter, but he's a ways back there. I had out 3 colors plus that weight to get down to that fish, which must have been down around probably 20 feet or so. I didn't see it right away. I was taking some film, shooting some video of the sonar unit, and I looked over and my rod was like doubled over. Go ahead and get this wind at my back. Make everything easier. That fish really pulled for a second. I want to see what it is. He's back there. He's just swimming along with me. I'm keeping the line tight with the pedals, and I'm negotiating this turn. Here we go. There. Nice rainbow. Woo-wee. Look at that guy. That is just a beautiful French Meadows rainbow right there. What a dandy fish. We'll get him revived and get him back in the water. We want that guy to survive for sure. So one of the keys to what I'm doing right now is I've really cut the lake down to size. I came out straight from the back boat ramp, headed towards the front boat ramp. There's 2 boat ramps on French Meadows. The nicer ramp is over here. I call that the front boat ramp. The back boat ramp isn't as nice, but there's less traffic there, and I figure, hey, I'm launching a kayak. I'd rather be back there by myself, launch over there. So, long story short, I launched over there. I headed for the front launch ramp, which would take me across the main channel of the lake. As soon as I hit a fish, I turned on my chart, and I just started to work in that area. Well, I've had a total of about 6 bites so far. I've landed 3 fish. I'm following my track. I've got the GPS on there. It's showing me where I'm at, and I just keep working back into that same area. You don't want to be that angler that's out trolling, catches a fish, and keeps on going. You really, really, really want to try to cut the lake down to size. If I can catch fish in a 100-yard area, I'm very happy, because that means I know there's fish there. I know the fish in that location are biting, and I'm keeping my bait in the strike zone for as long as possible. If you're hooking fish in an area, don't leave that area until they stop biting. Make the fish give you a reason to leave, and then go look for greener pastures. And even if this bite slows down, I'm just going to expand my circle a little bit and see if I can encounter more fish. One of the reasons that 10% of the fishermen catch 90% of the fish are little things like that, little details. Cutting the lake down to size when you find a bite. There might be a great bite over there. I don't know. I don't want to know. I'm not going to leave fish to find fish. I'm going to keep working this area until these fish tell me it's time to go. And the way I'm going to know it's time to go is I'm going to stop getting bites. I'm going to stop hooking fish. So that's always been my philosophy, and it's always served me well, and it'll serve you well too. Just keep that in mind next time you're out on the water. Fish on, guys. I can't even get a drink of water. Make sure I didn't lose my water bottle. I did manage to drop it out of the boat the other day, or out of the kayak the other day at Bucks Lake, but I got it back. He's down there. He doesn't feel that huge, but who knows? They can fool you sometimes. That fish is right in the center of the area I've been working. Oh, there's some head shaking going on now. Oh yeah. Still back there a ways. Here we go. We're within about 40 feet of him now. Deploy the net. Oh, another big old planter. Ba-boom! Ba-boomski! Oh man. Get him released. He's full of fight. What a feisty fish. I hope he survives out here. We need some fish in the lake like that. He's full of fight. He's got a bad attitude. Well, so far I've hooked about 10 fish. I think I've landed 8 of them, lost a couple. I changed some tackle around. I want to see if I can do a little bit better. I'm going to continue working the same area, although I am going to expand that area a little bit, but I'm going to troll back to where I was getting all those bites earlier at least twice before I start really expanding the area that I'm fishing. So on the lead core rod, I took off that bright red pinhead. It was working, but I just felt like it wasn't working good enough, and I replaced it with a perch pattern Trigger Spoon Junior. A little broader profile, works a little bit better at slow speeds, and my speed was varying so much because I was fighting fish and the wind and stuff like that. At times I felt like I was dropping down below where the pinhead was at its best. You know, sometimes I was going 1.5, which it starts working at about 1.5, but it's at its best, you know, 2.0 or faster typically. So the Trigger Spoon, it'll run a little bit slower. The Trigger Spoon Junior, it'll run a little bit slower. And they seem to be kind of dialed in, at least initially this morning, on that natural colored Trout Trix minnow. So I think this perch pattern's, you know, very natural. It has a little orange on it, a little yellow on it, it has a bright red eye, and of course it has a chrome back. So I'm going to run that down 3 colors plus the 1 ounce weight, and we'll see how that works. Fish on the Trigger Junior. Keep pulling too. Holy moly. Man. He's got me pinned. I'm pinned at the moment. I haven't retrieved any line or nothing. Man, that fish hit like a ton of bricks. Wow. I want to see this one. This one feels big. Feels like a big dog. We'll see. Perch pattern trigger junior. Had a feeling about that and paid off. So far, so good. That trigger junior is quite a spoon. That is one of my all-time favorites in the spoon world for sure. This catches a lot of fish. I think my biggest fish on a trigger junior is an 8-pound lightning at Collins Lake, but I've caught a lot of fish over 6 pounds on the trigger junior over the years, including some big wild fish. Get this net ready. Vicious head shakes. 4 pounds, guys. 4 pounds. Man, that is a hog. Wow. Look at that guy. That is a big fish. Wow, what a stud. Shore, it is 10 minutes after 11. So I decided to change things up a little bit. The most successful bait of the day was that natural colored Trout Trix minnow teamed with an action disc run off the downrigger. In terms of big fish, the biggest fish I've caught today was caught on that perch pattern trigger spoon junior. And I was doing okay on that bright red pinhead too. So I'm going to stay with that perch pattern trigger junior. I only had it on there a few minutes before I caught that rainbow, and that thing was pretty close to 4 pounds. On my downrigger rod, I actually grabbed another rod. This one is just spooled up with straight 12-pound mono. But I rigged up a 10-pound test fluorocarbon leader, and I tipped that leader with one of my crystal purple woolly boogers teamed with an action disc, and I thought I threw on 2 bobber stops, but I actually threw on 3 bobber stops to give that a little bit of space. Just give that disc a little bit of space between the disc and the fly. So I'm going to drop this down on the downrigger to about 25-30 feet, and then I'm going to deploy the old perch pattern trigger junior, and we'll see what they think of this fly. I just want to finish out the day. I don't know how much longer I'm going to fish. Maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. Maybe I'll stay here till 3. Who knows? I do have a few chores to do at home, so I'm going to put in a little bit of time here. But I want to finish out the day pulling a fly. And for some reason, you know, I got all different kinds of colors. I almost went with olive, but for some reason, that purple was calling my name. And I don't know why, but my gut tells me that the purple's going to work. If the purple doesn't work, I left that leader just a little extra long so I could throw on another color if I wanted to. I've got some brown ones. I've got that olive one. Of course, I've got the bright pink ones. I got a bright pink one rigged up here on another lead core rod. So anyway, for now, we're going with that purple because I just dig the way that purple looks, and I think the fish are going to like it too. So without further ado, let me get these bobber stops adjusted here. We get this in the water, get it down on the downrigger, and we'll see what the trout fish think, what the trout think of that purple woolly booger. I saw that fish on the screen and hooked it. I love it. I came in, I really like this bank here. I've caught a lot of fish here over the years. And I came in about 35 feet of water. I marked a fish, went past it, hook up right there, pulled that fish right off the bottom. Doesn't feel terribly big, but I love to see them and then hook them. It's always really cool. Looks like a rainbow. It is a rainbow, and it's another big rainbow. Right there. Right there. Man, that's another big rainbow. Heavy fish. Came right off. Outstanding. Show this big boy off and then get him revived and get him back in. But look at that stud. That's a nice fish right there. He's heavy. Get him back in the water. Get him revived. And get him on his way. Fish on right there. Bam. Purple woolly booger. Awesome. Oh, what a jump. What a jump. That was crazy. Bet that's another one of those big old planter rainbows. He's right under the surface back there. He came off. Well, guys, on that note, I think we're going to call it a day. It's starting to get hot. I'm sure we could go on catching fish all day long, but this has been a great trip. I lost count of how many fish I hooked. A whole bunch. Got some big ones. Lost some. Landed some. Just another great day here in the high Sierras. Right before 4th of July, but there's going to be a lot of fishing pressure up here over the 4th of July holiday, and I will be at home watching for smoke because I'm always afraid of forest fires where I live. But anyway, it's been an outstanding day on the water. If you're looking for gear, any of the gear you saw me using today, whether it's trigger minnows, purple woolly boogers, downrigger rods, and more, you know where to go. FHSfishing.com. We'll hook you up with what you need. We'll get it shipped out to you really quickly, and you'll be out on the water yelling fish on before you know it. I want to thank you guys for all the support. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible, and I want to thank everybody who patronizes my store. You guys are all very valuable to us, and thanks for watching us. Thanks for supporting us, and I'll catch you next time right here on YouTube, guys. I'm Kel Kellogg. This is Lucy the Labrador back here, and hey, we're going to go home, grab a sandwich, and maybe do some chores and take a nap. Anyway, you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.